Let's take that drive down Magnolia Lane, shall we? It's that time of year. Spring is in the air. The warm weather is near, and John Swantek and I are very excited for the first major of the PGA Tour season. And Swan, we've got a lot of intriguing storylines, including world number one, Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, last year's runner-up, and a few notable Masters rookies. But let's start with DJ. What do you say?
Yeah, why would we not start with DJ? FedEx Cup points leader, #1 player in the world, best player in the game right now. It's all there right in front of him, Teryn, isn't it? But
it is.
I think, the tough part of the deal for DJ is anything less than a green jacket this week is going to be viewed as a shortcoming, a disappointment, and that's not entirely fair because there's so many great players and so many worthy contenders, but that's the reality of being the top dog in the game and the level of expectation you got to meet every week.
Yep, that's what comes with being the world #1 and winning 3 times in a row here in your last 3 starts. That's what you get, right? And he won 5 times since he, broke the floodgates open basically at the U.S. Open last year.
Yeah, I think this is Dustin Johnson's time. I think he's really put the work in over the last couple years, and there's a lot of buzz about the fact that he fades the ball. I put 0 stock in that. Last time I checked, Jack Nicklaus fades the ball, 6 green jackets, the greatest champion of our generation.
And last year, T4 and he 3-putted on 17. So he's had a pretty decent track record there at Augusta.
Yeah, Jordan Spieth as well. Pretty decent.
I'd say so.
First and second in his first 3 appearances. And we're only speculating as to how he's going to react to what happened at the 12th last year, Teryn. There was a great quote from Jordan recently who said, if I'm being brutally honest with you, I'm not going to be able to put what happened last year in the rearview mirror until this Masters is complete. That was really revealing, typically self-aware from Jordan. So that's what he's kind of dealing with this week.
I think that's smart. I think that's a great way to approach it. You just have to take it for what it is. And Danny Willett, too. We have to remember, he is the reigning Masters champ.
Yeah, not playing well, though.
No.
This is not the run of form he was looking for into his title defense. You got to go back to December for the last top 10 finish, in fact. Winning the Masters was a life-changing event. He also became a dad around the same time last year. Life-changing event. It was a lot to sort of handle through the years for Danny and his family. Maybe he wasn't entirely comfortable with it. That could easily be forgiven. This sort of moment was thrust upon him, and sometimes it's tough to handle.
We have to look at some of these European guys that could maybe come out of nowhere. And we've got several young up-and-comers from Europe that are going to be Masters rookies, frankly, but a lot of people looking at Jon Rahm, Thomas Pieters, Tyrrell Hatton, Tommy Fleetwood. These guys you got to take a look at.
Other than the early years of the tournament in the mid-1930s, Fuzzy Zoeller in 1979 is the only Masters rookie, if you will, in his first appearance to win. So if ever he was going to have some company, it would be from this year's crop. They're really impressive.
What about the well-established European, Rory McIlroy, still searching for that Grand Slam? Is it going to be his time?
It would not surprise me at all if Rory won this week. It would not surprise me at all if Rory did not win this week, if that makes any sense. I think that's how razor thin the line is between success and failure when there's so much at stake here this week.
Exactly, and he's still sort of coming back from that injury that he had, but he's had some good starts.
Let's not forget the 80 that Rory shot in the final round in 2011, and it was a year before he could sort of put that behind him. His moment will come at the Masters, certainly.
What about Ricky? He won just a few weeks ago, and
you spoiled my pick.
Oh, no,
did I? Surprise you. All right, let's get to it. These are our picks. Normally, this is where you guys go running in the opposite direction when Teryn and I make our picks. I'm going to take a contrarian view of this. The Masters favorite, the odds-on favorite, hasn't won in close to a decade. I love the way Ricky's playing. Outside of DJ, Jon Rahm, he's been the best player on the tour, really, for the last month. Had a good showing in Houston. His coach, Butch Harmon, said that Ricky has never put as much work in as he had to get the most out of his game and himself coming into this year.
You're right. He hasn't placed worse than T16 in the last 5 weeks.
Who are you going with?
I'm gonna do it and just say Dustin Johnson. I know I'm going with the favorite, but every time I picked him, I've got it right. So how can I go against that?
It's so exciting this time of year, the anticipation. And you know what, even if these storylines that we're talking about don't develop, what we end up getting is still going to be amazing. And that's why it never disappoints. And that's what's so magical about this place.
It is magical. And of course, you can check out the magic on TV and the radio this week. Your TV times include Thursday and Friday from 3 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN, Saturday from 3 to 7, and Sunday from from 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS.
And the live coverage on SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio can also be heard Thursday through Sunday beginning at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The
2017 Masters Tournament is going to be great. So make sure and follow along on all of our coverage here on PGATour.com and our PGA Tour social media sites. Thanks, Swan.
Thanks, man.